So today we need to talk about some SEC coaching news, and we have got to ask the question, where in the world is Dan? Because per numerous reports, the Arkansas Razorbacks are honing in on Dan Enos to be the next offensive coordinator, something we have got to break down. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill, I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you surprised that Arkansas is looking at Dan Enos? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below, as those interactions may seem small, but they are massive to content creators such as myself, and we're on a push to 20,000 subscribers. I'd love nothing more than to have you a part of this awesome community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And this, like I said in the intro, is intriguing news coming on the heels of reports that Kendal Briles is looking to make the move from Arkansas to TCU to become the next offensive coordinator of the Horned Frogs. And today, we need to talk about Arkansas's next move, because per numerous reports, the Arkansas Razorbacks look to reunite with Dan Enos, who's serving as the current offensive coordinator at Maryland. And like I said, reunite, because Dan Enos was the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for the Razorbacks from 2015 to 2017. Ironically enough, taking the job from Sam Pittman when Pittman made the move from Arkansas to Georgia. Now they could be on the same staff, and I think that's really, really cool. Both of these guys have an understanding of SEC football, which if you're the Arkansas Razorbacks is an inherent win. You need guys that understand what it takes to be successful in the SEC landscape and how to recruit in this landscape. And luckily, if Dan Enos is the guy, he's coached in a lot of different areas. Maryland, Miami, Alabama, Arkansas, Michigan. He's got ties to multiple different recruiting grounds, and if you're Arkansas, that's something you like. That's something you can utilize. But now let's take a look at the offensive production under Dan Enos, because this is the basis of this conversation. It's only fair that we start with his previous stint in Arkansas, where he found a lot of offensive success with the Razorbacks. In fact, if we look at it, he had back-to-back 3,000-yard passers. Arkansas was one of only two institutions during both 2015 and 2017 to be able to boast having a 3,000-yard passer and a 1,300-yard rusher. And on top of that, he had a quarterback lead the nation in QBR. So he found offensive success while at Arkansas. We can also look at Maryland, where when he got to Maryland, that Maryland offense really took a step forward. And in fact, in the bowl game, they scored more points than any other Maryland team had ever scored during a bowl game. And under Dan Enos' tutelage, Tuali Atungavailoa had a good season Dan Enos' first year. However, what's interesting to note is that if you look at the scoring ranks for those Maryland offenses, those stats aren't reflected in those ranks. If we look, Dan Enos' first year at Maryland, they were ranked 57th in the nation in scoring offense. This previous year, they were ranked 67th in the nation. So, while Tuali Atungavailoa's stats looked good, it didn't translate to scoring offense, which is something that's intriguing to note. I'm super interested to see how this goes down. Dan Enos is someone who, if you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, you probably got my little joke to start off this video. Where in the world is Dan? For those of you that don't know, that story stems from when Dan Enos was a part of the coaching staff for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and per reports, Nick Saban called a meeting, and whenever the coaches got there and there was no Dan Enos, this did not please Nick Saban, prompting him to ask the question in much more colorful language, where in the world is Dan? Well, lo and behold, he'd taken the offensive coordinator job at Miami, which did not go as planned. So Arkansas fans, I've got to hear from you. Because like I said, even though whenever we look, the Maryland offense did take a bit of a step forward when Dan Enos got there his first year, and they scored the most points they'd ever scored in a bowl game, when you look at their offensive stats and where they rank, it's not really reflected. 57th in the nation that first year, 67th in the nation the second year. When he was the offensive coordinator at Miami, they ranked 90th in the nation in scoring offense. So Dan Enos has been around, which is going to be interesting to see if this Arkansas stint can get him back on the right track. Can't wait to hear from all of you. Can't wait to hear from Arkansas fans about the perspective of this hire. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.